Hey, it's Andrew here at BTO Range in Conroe, Texas, and today, and we've already talked about this pistol once in an episode on the Remembering the Past series, but this is that Astra Model 1921 in 9mm Largo, and we're going to do a field strip video and talk about the extractor and firing pin and some things to look for on this gun should you choose to pick one up, and I think you should if you get the opportunity. So just a quick review. This is a first-year gun, so it's late 1921, early 1922 production on this particular model. And it's chambered in cartridge 9mm Largo, not 9 Parabellum, not and it says 9mm/38 on the slide, so that's a lot of confusion to people in this day and age. They think it's 9mm Parabellum, or they think it's 38 Super, or they think they can shoot both or all the above in it. And the actual caliber is 9mm Largo. And some of these guns get hurt from shooting the wrong ammunition in them, so we'll get there. But so we're going to do a quick field strip on it. It's actually a toolless, or should be a toolless field strip. That said, a tool is helpful to take this bushing off of here. So let's clear it first. Now the gun does have a slide lock back on an empty magazine, and it also has a magazine safety, so the gun won't fire with the magazine out of it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull this slide back to lock it. Heel base magazine catch. We're going to get this magazine out of there, and we're clear. So now we're going to let the slide run forward again. So we're going to leave the gun cocked. We're going to leave the striker, or the hammer, in the rear position. It's a hammer-fired gun with an internal hammer. So this is a blowback-operated gun, recoil. There's no tilting link or anything like that. There's a big giant recoil spring that encircles the barrel and comes down here. So we have to defeat the tension on that spring. So we have a bushing right here. This little lip on the outside of the barrel is a small bushing. So we have to depress that. And when the guns are new, or when the guns haven't been shot quite a bit, you can depress it to where it is flush with this external bushing here, then rotate it and take it off. On this particular gun, we have to be a little bit further than flush. So, and you can use whatever tool you want to depress this lip. There's just more than you can do with your fingernail or your finger, so you have to use some type of tool. I've seen a video, and I haven't tried it. I don't have a 50 Browning 50 BMG empty cartridge case, but the suggestion is that's the perfect size to push that down, and that looks about right, to be honest with you. But you can use whatever tool. I mean, we have this guy here, and we're going to push this. Now, having said, just a reminder, there's a big giant spring under there. So once we push this down and turn it, once this bushing gets to the release position, it's going to want to come up. So we have to kind of control that. So I don't have it all the way to the up position yet, and there it comes. So we have a two-piece bushing there, and we have the recoil spring, pretty sturdy spring. These springs are available, and I think they're also being remade, so you don't have to necessarily deal with a used spring. So now to take it apart even further, we're going to run this slide back until we get to the notch here where we can move that slide stop up, or the safety up. And you see this knurl portion on the barrel. We're going to rotate that. If you're looking at the muzzle, it would be counterclockwise. And what we're doing is we are turning the locking lugs out of their recesses in the frame. So now we can bring the entire top half off of the gun. And this is what I'm talking about. These are the locking lugs that you see right here. So now this is the position they would be in when the top half is attached to the frame. And those lugs are mating into these recesses right here in the frame. So we turn that out of the way to get the top half off, and now we turn them back into position here to remove the barrel forward, because this is not perfectly round. So we need to have it in this position to get the barrel out of the slide. So Looking in here real quick, if we wanted to take it apart further, I don't suggest taking the frame apart on a routine basis for a couple of reasons. If you have an older gun, this is a first-year gun, these are horn. These grips are made out of horn, and they are fairly fragile. So the less manipulation you have of these screws, if you tighten them too much, you can crack the grips and things of that nature. The later grips are wooden. They're a little bit more forgiving, but I don't want to take these off unless we absolutely have to. The only time I would take one of these frames apart is if we had to replace something in there. But you can see the internal hammer here. We're going to leave that in the cocked position. We would have to we'd either have to manually move the sear out of the way to make the hammer come up, or we'd have to put the magazine there to drop the hammer anyway. So we're going to set that off to the side. So we have an extractor, and we have obviously the firing pin. And the firing pin in here is 3 pieces. There's the firing pin in the front, there's a spring, and then there's a separate striker. So there's not enough room between here and here to get a firing pin that long out of the gun. So to remove it, we would remove the pin, and it all comes out of the back, but it comes out in 3 pieces. Doesn't mean it's broken. It's supposed to be that way. So where are the pins? Now the pins, they're blind pins, but they're L-shaped. What you're seeing here, see if I can turn this where you can see it. This is the pin for the firing pin, and this is the extractor pin. I think that's, no, I had that exactly backwards, I think. One of the two. I'd have to look and see. This one's angled. It may be the firing pin. But in any event, you would take a small tool, get up under the lip of that pin, bring it out high enough to clear the notch. Then you could actually turn it, and it is L-shaped. So you would bring those 2 pins out, and then that would remove the extractor and its spring underneath, and then the firing pin, and it is 3 parts out of there. So it's relatively simple to take this slide apart, not so much the frame with the grip safety and the spring underneath that. The biggest problem with the frame is the trigger bar. The trigger bar lives under this grip panel, and it comes up like that. And if you when you take the trigger out, there's another one of those pins under there that pins the trigger. When you take the trigger out and put the trigger back in, it's easy to spring that trigger bar to where it is out of alignment, and then you have to tweak and bend and tweak and bend to try to get that right. And it's a difficult part to replace because it's going to be a used part if you find one, and it's probably going to need tweaking to put back into your gun anyway. So I advise against doing that unless you just absolutely have to for whatever reason. So to put this guy back together again, it's simply in reverse order. So we're going to take our slide. We're going to run this back in with the lugs facing down. And this cutout right here is where those lugs turn at. So we're going to move this into place here. And then we're going to turn it. We're going to turn it like so. So now we're ready to put this. Now this can't move in and out of the slide anymore because the lugs are catching on that shelf on the back of the slide. So we're going to run the frame. Now the frame is a full length onto the slide, and we're going to move this back to this position. Now we're still locked here, and we're going to turn this back into position, and we can look down through the ejection port, and we can actually see the feed ramp line up. The feed ramp on the barrel lines up with the feed ramp on the frame, and that's our barrel in position. So now we can, and sometimes you have to wiggle this up to make the slide run forward. Otherwise, it's kind of in a tilted bind in there because the barrel bushing is what supports the barrel in the front. So now comes the fun part. We're going to run, and this is omnidirectional. You can go either way with this guy. So now on this bushing setup, you've got there's a keyway in here, and there's a keyway on both of these. So in order to put this into the gun, these have to be lined up like this, where this is lined up with each other. Because once they pass the keyway slots in the front of the slide, we're going to rotate it, or we're going to rotate this end like that, and then the spring pressure is going to bring this bushing end up into where it's notched right there. And that's going to lock everything together. So if we tried to put it in like this, we'd never be able to get it into the front of the slide. And it seems like, well, yeah, that just makes sense, and it does. But you'd be surprised how many people I've seen struggling with this particular part of putting one of these back together. So it has to go in like this, and I hold it, and it just... And remember, we're fighting the spring pressure here, so we're going all the way in with it. And it doesn't matter which way we go. And then it'll click into place. And then without depressing that plunger, or this part of the bushing like we did initially, then this is only going to rotate that just very small amount before it hits that stop. And now we can check and make sure we have slide there, put our magazine back in, and we're good to go. So now, as luck would have it, I do have some 9mm Largo ammo. So we're actually going to run this gun out to the range and put just a few rounds through it, because they're just a ton of fun to shoot. 9mm Largo is not 38 Super. It's not nearly as potent as 38 Super, but it's got some pop to it. And in a gun this heavy with it's all steel, it's not a terrible amount of recoil. It's about like shooting a 9mm out of a polymer frame pistol, I guess. So we'll take it to the range and put some rounds through this old soldier. Okay, we're on our small pistol range here, our 4-bay pistol range at BTO. I've got some 9 Largo ammo here in the magazine, but I wanted to quickly illustrate the difference. This is 9mm Largo. That's a 9mm Parabellum fired case. So there's right at 4mm in difference between the case length. So you can see they're profoundly different cartridges. The 9 Largo is dimensionally similar to 38 ACP and 38 Super. 38 ACP is typically okay to fire in this particular pistol, but not Super and not 9mm. The headspace is wrong. So we've got our target set up at 7 yards. We've got a full magazine of 9mm Largo. We'll see if our 100-year-old Spanish pistol can do the trick, or if I can do the trick. It may be more me than the gun not shooting well. We'll see. I let it drift low a little bit. Got to get used to the grip angle, but we got a little bit low. But as you can tell, even at 100 years old, this thing can still get it done. So Astra 1921 in 9mm Largo, model 400 Astra. And yeah, they still shoot. So that's the 1921 Astra and 9 Largo. Fun gun to shoot. A little bit, challenging to find ammunition for it. It does come up from time to time. And you can reload it. You can absolutely get cases and reload it. And I recommend it. It's just an interesting piece of history that's still very shootable. So thanks for watching, guys. And if you like what we're doing, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We try to put stuff up here at least once a week, if not more often. And if there's something you want us to take a look at, drop us a comment, let us know. If we can get our hands on one, we'll certainly do it. And thanks again for watching. See you next time.